My name is Ben Domain, Managing Editor with WestfordCAT, and here's the October 15th edition of WestfordCAT News. The Westford Police Department and Drug Enforcement Administration made one arrest in connection with a cocaine trafficking scheme based in Westford. After a 10-month-long investigation, law enforcement from the Westford Police Department and DEA Special Response Team executed a state-issued search warrant for 248 Littleton Road. Helder Tavares was taken into custody without incident by the Westford Police Department on October 5th. Law enforcement seized approximately 300 grams of cocaine, $1,400 in cash, and equipment used to process narcotics. Tavares is charged with trafficking a Class B substance and possession of a Class B substance with intent to distribute. He was booked at the Westford Police Department and transported to Air District Court for arraignment, according to law enforcement. As a reminder, special town meeting is at 7 p.m. on October 16th at Westford Academy. Let's hear from our town moderator, Angela Harkness, on what to expect on the warrant.
Hello, Westford voters. My name is Angela Harkness, and I'm Westford's town moderator. I'd like to invite you to join me at our upcoming special town meeting on Monday, October 16th, starting at 7 p.m. in the Westford Academy Gymnasium. At town meeting, any registered voter can participate in the discussion and voting on budget items and rules affecting our community. Here is a very brief description of the items on our agenda for the upcoming meeting. Article 1 asks your approval for certain appropriations and budget transfers necessary to balance the town's fiscal 2024 budget. Article 2 asks your approval for the budgeting of funds received from statewide opioid statements. Article 3 asks that monies be appropriated from free cash and the water enterprise retained earnings for several capital expenditures. Article 4 asks for your vote to reduce the amount raised by taxes in fiscal 2024. Article 5 asks you to rescind previously authorized amounts for various projects which were never borrowed and are no longer needed. Article 6 asks you to approve the use of CPA funds for the Drew Farmhouse Preservation and Workforce Housing Project. Article 7 asks that the voters approve reauthorization of the town's means-tested citizen property tax exemption with some additional changes. Article 8 asks you to allow the school committee to enter into a school bus contract for up to 5 years. Article 9 asks the voters to approve a new zoning bylaw regulating firearms businesses in the town of Westford. If you would like further information on any of these articles, you can find it on the town website under the Town Meeting tab in the Government section. I expect this to be a relatively short meeting, so please arrive on time. There will be free transportation and free childcare available, but you must register in advance. Registration forms are linked on the town moderator's page. I hope to see all of you there. Remember, democracy works best when the greatest number of people participate. Thank you.
At the October 11th Select Board meeting, Town Manager Kristen Lass outlined an additional bid her office has received from E.L. Harvey for solid waste collection. This contract would maintain the manual collection of solid waste and recycling that Westford has received from Acme Waste Systems. According to a raw estimate, this contract would be approximately $800,000 less than a bid from Waste Management. Should E.L. Harvey be selected as a service provider, the town could explore reducing the 3-barrel limit for solid waste, increasing the $5 bulk item disposal fee, or consider implementing a pay-as-you-throw program. A decision on what bid to choose has not been made at the time of reporting. This topic will return for consideration during the October 24th Select Board meeting. Parents and students are frustrated at the cancellation of an annual Washington, D.C. trip typically hosted for Westford's 8th graders. A petition began to circulate last week that has garnered over 1,400 signatures at the time of reporting. Administration outlined the decision to cancel the trip during an October 10th school committee meeting.
We also want to be clear that this decision was made very recently in collaboration between administrators and staff between both schools and, of course, in the best interests of our students. I know there were quite a few questions about fundraising, and I also want to clarify that what we faced was not fully a funding issue. It was rather an accumulation of issues that came to light over the very recent weeks.
Stony Brook Middle School Principal Allison Hammer and Blanchard Middle School Principal Tim Hillslop cited inclusion and equity as reasons for the cancellation.
In addition to the logistical and the financial reasons, our decision to change the end-of-year trip for 8th graders was made based on one of Westford Public Schools' core values of inclusion.
Additionally, the administration says a number of logistical issues arose in transporting students to the city.
Used to. We worked with and we communicated frequently, like Tim said, daily. I think I was on the phone with that guy, I don't even know how many times, and lots of emails. Frequently with Capital Tours to explore the alternatives that would allow us to still go to DC. And some of the things that we talked about were alternative travel dates, changing the week of the trip completely, alternative flights, can we change the airports, and using bus transportation. And unfortunately, we were not able to get acceptable alternative travel plans for either school that would ensure we could safely transport our students.
Parents, such as Janine Jones, were frustrated with the cancellation.
The only memory they're going to take away this year from 8th grade is that they missed out on an educational trip of a lifetime. I know there's a lot about bonding and what they missed out in COVID, but the biggest point here is this is a huge educational trip for our students, and it should not be canceled lightly.
The schools will now pursue an alternative class trip, with the topic of the DC trip returning to the school committee's agenda on October 23rd. That's all for this week. I'm Bet Domain, and you're watching WestfordCAT News.